Hi, welcome along to Transfer Daily. And the big rumour going around today is that Arsene Wenger is desperate to sign Marco Reus from Borussia Dortmund. Of course, listen, this is the player that every top club in Europe would love to have in their ranks. He's been linked a lot recently to Liverpool. He's been linked with a move to Bayern Munich, which Dortmund would absolutely hate. And of course, Dortmund are desperate to hold on to him because he's an absolutely class player. Now, there's been this rumour going around recently that, first of all, he had a release clause of about 35 million euros, and then it was leaked out recently by Bayern Munich that the release clause could be as little as 25 million euros come January this year. Now, this newspaper or media outlet in Germany called Welt are claiming that Arsene Wenger is desperate to bring Marco Reus to Arsenal. Now, if this is true, and if they are on the money with this one, this would be the sort of signing that would get Arsenal fans excited. He's the sort of player who can play on that left-hand side of midfield, which has been a bit of a problem for Arsenal. He scores goals. He's one of the most exciting young players around. He's German, to add to the already existing German contingent. And, you know, quite rightly, when you see rumours like this, you get excited. Whether it will happen or not is another thing coming. I mean, as I said, Borussia Dortmund are going to be desperately trying to hold on to the jewel in their crown. He is a brilliant player. And, of course, he's been injured at the moment. He was out of the World Cup through injury. But listen, this is not the first time these rumours have emerged. There was a rumour about a week ago, which also came out of Germany, which said that apparently Arsenal had in place a deal to sign Reus before he got injured. And now these rumours, as I said, from a German media outlet, hasn't started over here in the UK, that Arsene Wenger is desperate to sign him. And could Arsenal move for him? You know, if they are gonna, it might be one of those ones where it's late in the transfer window. And do Arsenal need him? I mean, we've got Ozil, Sanchez could play on that side. I personally think that, listen, if he was available and he was interested in moving to Arsenal, and Arsene Wenger is desperate to bring him in, as the Welt says, then do it. Go over there and get this done. Bring him in, because he is another world-class player. And could you imagine if you had a team with Mesut Ozil, Marco Reus, Alexis Sanchez? All of a sudden, you're starting to look at a world-beating team. So let's hope these rumours are true, but at the moment it is only just a rumour. Another one that's around today is concerning a player goes by the name of Adrien Rabiot. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I'll tell you, French player. 21 years of age. He currently plays for Paris Saint-Germain, but as you know, Paris Saint-Germain, a bit like the Harlem Globetrotters, got all these superstar players, and for young players, they find it a bit difficult to get into the team. He's a box-to-box midfielder, really. That's how he plies his trade. Very well thought after in France, and it's a media outlet over in France called Le Sport 10, who claim that Arsenal's representatives has been talking to the players' representatives and are interested in him. Not, you know, this at the moment. That's just the, you know, there's just the interest there. But they are talking to him. He can also play as a defensive midfielder. Don't know a lot about him, but he does only have 12 months left on his contract. So if Arsenal are interested in bringing him in, it wouldn't be the most difficult deal to be done, because as we've seen with the Thomas Vermaelen thing, when a player starts to have 12 months left on his contract, all the cards are in the player's court, because, you know, he can either renegotiate a new contract to stay for higher wages, or he can move on to another club quite easily. And Paris Saint-Germain, of course, are big spenders, and with financial fair play, it may be that they may want to offload Rabiot, and Arsenal showing some interest in him. So let's wait and see what happens with that one. And the other deal, listen, it's almost every single day we talk about this one, and it's Sami Khedira. Now, yesterday, Graham Hunter, who's a Spanish football expert, he was on TalkSport here over in the UK, and he was saying on that show that from what he understands, a deal has been done between Arsenal and Real Madrid. They're both, you know, Real Madrid are willing to sell to Arsenal. Arsenal are willing to buy the player. However, the sticking point, according to Graham Hunter, is the wages. Sami Khedira wants, you know, a very high wage from Arsenal, which Arsenal apparently don't want to pay that sort of fee. We've heard about this for weeks. And he's sort of playing a waiting game, Khedira. Even Hunter suggested that he'd be prepared to, you know, sit on the bench for a season, let his contract run down, and then walk away for free and negotiate a deal for himself on better wages. So this, again, as I keep saying every day, is going to run and run and run right up until the probably the end of the window or nearing towards the end of the window. But Sami Khedira thing still rumbles on, but there apparently is a deal in place between the two clubs, between Real Madrid and between Arsenal, for him to come to Arsenal. As I say every day, we've got to watch this space and see what happens with the Khedira deal. Let's just take a look at some of your comments from yesterday when I was asking you guys which defender do you think would be good for Arsenal to bring in, and you guys have been making some great suggestions. Chris de Freitas, he suggested Ron Vlaar, Marcus Rocha, or Micah Richards. Micah Richards is a really strange one because, you know, a few years ago he was one of the hottest British players around. He can play right back, he can play as a centre half, he had the power, he bombs down that wing when he plays, but it's just the injuries again that's done him. He's been at Manchester City, he's hardly played, and would be a big risk. Ron Vlaar looked very, very good in the World Cup, but from what I understand from some of my mates who support Aston Villa, he doesn't always look like that every week for Villa, and he is knocking on a bit as well. Luna Quadro says, no way, I hope Aga stays at Liverpool, he's average at best, he said. Joban De Heer said, big danger of Aga becoming another Vermaelen. Kevin 084 Live said, I think we need to trade Vermaelen for Aga. That would be a good deal, he says, I think. Jimmy Barinho Games comes up with a very good suggestion. I think this is a decent suggestion. He said, why not somebody like Curtis Davis from Hull? Yes, listen, for the Premier League, yes. Would Curtis Davis be the player to put in there if, say, he had to go into the Champions League? Is he ready for that level? I'm not sure. I don't know. But then you don't know sometimes until you give him a try, do you? Stand down now. These complicated handles you guys have. He suggests Fabian Schär or Dragovic are my picks for Vermaelen's replacement. Young enough to know they won't start, ambitious enough to fight it through for their place. Also, Koscielny and Per Mertesacker are getting older. Joe Reyes also suggests Fabian Schär. He also suggests a German player, Hawades, Winston Reid, or Mats Hummels. He's aiming high. And last one here, Doug Z. Yodis, and there was loads and loads and loads of them. Thank you very much for all of them that came through. He said Aga would be second fiddle for us. And, well, listen, yeah, he would. He'd have to come in and play that role where he's going to be playing as a secondary player. So, who's going to bring in that position? Again, it's one that's going to run and run and run. And what do you guys think of Marcus Reus? Do you think Arsenal should just go out there and break the bank to bring in a quality player? If we really do want him, and we're going to get him from Borussia Dortmund, we'd have to go aggressive with this. We'd have to go in there with a big chunk of money and say, come on, come in. Is that what Arsenal need, or should we just forget about Marcus Reus and concentrate on the holding midfielder and defensive positions that we need? You guys let me know in the comments, and thank you very much for watching Transfer Daily. We will be back tomorrow.